Oh my God, I'm back again. Hello, welcome back to episode 4 of Peeling the Banana. Doing something a little bit different this week. I thought I'd do a little Q&A kind of episode. So let's go ahead and get started. I got 2 really great questions that kind of fall back on each other. One from Hurting the North, and the question is prime or zoom lens, pros and cons of each. The other question was from the Northwest Dog, and her question was, what is your favorite lens and settings to shoot with? So getting back to the first question, the question of prime or zoom lens is one of those questions where if you ask 2 photographers which is better, you're going to get at least 3 opinions that are wildly varying. I am very, very, very strongly of the belief that the best lens really depends on what you're doing with it. I love prime lenses. Prime lenses tend to be smaller, lighter, and less expensive. You can often get a high quality prime lens that will help you produce tack sharp images for a fraction of the cost of a comparable zoom lens. Notice I said comparable. There are plenty of cheap zoom lenses out there, but you probably aren't going to be happy with your results. Prime lenses have fewer glass elements than zoom lenses do, which allows them to be lighter and smaller, but it also reduces the amount of distortion and aberration they produce. Prime lenses also tend to have wider apertures, giving you more flexibility in low light and giving you the ease of creating creamy bokeh. There are very few zoom lenses that will get you below a 2.8 aperture consistently across their entire range and not set you back a ton of money. Now, some people may think of this as a con, but I really enjoy the creativity that comes from shooting with a single prime lens. It forces you to move your body around. It forces you to explore different areas to stand at. If you want your cropping closer, you have to move closer. If you want more in your frame, you move farther away. This is really fun. It's really helped me expand my photography, and it's something I don't think I'll ever get away from. Now, this is not to say that zoom lenses don't have their place. When I was still shooting weddings, my 80 to 200 was almost always on one of my bodies. And I'm currently a little bit in love with the 17 to 35 f2.8 that I picked up right before everybody went into lockdown. It is a beast of a lens. It is sharp through all the apertures. It has very little distortion. It is all around awesome. It also weighs almost as much as my Fiat did, and it set me back quite a chunk of change, even buying it used. A single lens that can go from wide to telephoto is a really nice thing to have if you're going on vacation and you don't want to bring your whole lens collection with you. I use the kit lens from my Z6, a 24 to 70 millimeter f4, for much of our vacation in Iceland. Even though it was a kit lens, it still makes some really amazing images, and there was not a single one that I was disappointed with. The top pro for zoom lenses is that they're convenient and they're versatile. A lot of people feel that really helps them with their creativity. Cropping and framing can be done in camera, and that can be a really powerful tool. So at the end of the day, I really feel like the choice isn't so much about prime or zoom as it is about what you're trying to create, how into photography you are, and really what your budget is. I have made some amazing images off a 50 millimeter plastic Nikon lens that I bought for $150 brand new, and from a scratched, dented, beat to hell Tokina 14 to 24 millimeter that I picked up on eBay for 75 bucks. Lenses don't have to be a huge deal. Yes, buy good glass. Your glass is going to take you much further than a body ever will. Just don't get so caught up on what the numbers say that you overlook lenses that are going to work just fine for you. Don't feel like you have to get an f1.4 lens just because you see people talking about them. The cost difference between an f1.8 and an f1.4 is astronomical, and for the average social media shooter, it's really just not worth it. Alright guys, we're done for another week. I hope I answered your question well enough, Hurting the North. If you ever want to talk about lenses, feel free, hit me up. I am happy to talk about cameras and photography and lenses until the cows come home. I think next week I'm going to cover a few things about Lightroom, so hopefully that's okay with you guys. Until then, sayonara.